There we are.
Ah,
Hello.
hello, Johannes. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. It's a very intense, exciting week with a lot of things going on.
Yes, I
Album
can
coming
imagine.
out, tour starting, everything. So, but most of it is good. How are you?
I'm really good. I'm really good. I was watching again because I watched it a lot of times already. I was watching the Avatar's performance in the Hellfest to inspire myself
Hmm.
for this interview.
Oh, awesome.
It was a really, really awesome performance, man. I have a question related to Hellfest, but for later. First of all, I have to say that this is a really big pleasure have you here today because I'm a big fan of Avatar, really, and
Thank
of
you very much.
your
Thank you.
performance. To start, I want to ask you something very quiet and maybe very typical question. That is,
Hmm.
how was the writing and recording process of Dance Devil Dance, and how long did it take? I can imagine the process was different this time because Hunter Gatherer was released in the middle of the pandemic.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. So the whole journey that led to Dance Devil Dance, I think, started earlier than other albums normally would because of the pandemic. We, you know, we couldn't tour so much, so you start to do other things. I start to write a lot of songs, and and the other guys start to write songs too, and there was a lot of freedom to really think about what's the next step, what's the problem with metal today, and what are we gonna fix, like all these different thoughts, and room to try, just write so much that you could really try to look for a direction song by song. um, and it gave us a lot of time to come to the conclusion of what was important this time, and a sense of focus was very important. uh, Maintaining a sense of the feelings of the fundaments of rock and roll while doing metal. Also in the more extreme songs, we were thinking rock and roll. Also when doing death metal, all that whole process to lead up to the right mindset. We really had time to do that. And then the writing, it was, we did the best we could with while being apart, because again, pandemic means I was stuck at home in Finland for most of it while the other guys were here, but we communicate a lot anyway. And when we finally could come together, we did the most of that too. Recording it, instead, Hunter Gatherer, for instance, we did in Los Angeles in a super fancy, amazing studio. Stevie Wonder bought it after we left, actually. And it was great, but it was also a very, nice place, a very clean, a very slick place where we and fancy. And I think Hunter Gatherer came out a bit too fancy. Nice, thick, low end. It's a sexy, clean sound. And we learned our lessons from that we brought into this time. Instead of going to the big fancy studio in Los Angeles, we went into the woods here in Sweden and built our own studio, and just us and Jay Rustin, our producer, alone. And we were going for more dirtier, angrier sound, and a more, how we recorded Hunter Gatherer was very organic, was very live. But then the sound kind of, again, it sounds great, but I feel that we kind of lost the sense of really five guys in a room doing music together. So this time really focus on that. And we focus, instead of the thick low end, we focus on some more aggressive mid range, where the ugly and the rage is, the danger, and
Mhm.
the guitars,
Yeah.
So a lot of focus on that. But and how it all, to summarize, I think this was a beautiful experience. We are always very close to each other, but this journey we grew even closer, I must say.
Good, man. Good, good. Now I want to know the history of the aesthetic of the band. I have a little bit idea of how born this aesthetic, but I want to hear it from you.
Okay.
Um, I know it happened with the release of Black Waltz, right? And from
Yeah.
there, the band not only had an aesthetic change, but Avatar also had a musical change that was crucial, in my opinion, for
Yes.
Avatar to be what's it today. Who was the idea of the band aesthetic born and developed?
Well, so it's for us, it always starts with a song. So the musical change led to the visual change, and the music. by the time we started to do Black Waltz, we were for a while there as a band kind of depressed. And it's stupid to say now, but like I turned 24 and I had a life crisis. I felt so old. And I think it was because so many friends, the friends who wasn't trying to make it with a band, when you're 24, that's the first round of friends who went to study, that they finished the studies, they got real jobs, and someone bought a car or whatever, you know. So first time seeing that, oh, they are grown-ups now, and here I am sitting and nothing is happening with my life. That was the feeling for a while there. And then we felt, then me and John, we were really down. We had been in the studio working on a song and it was shit. And we went out for a beer. We kind of started to talk about what else we can do with our lives if we wouldn't be in a band and all of that. And we kind of quit the band for 15 minutes. But we sat there quietly, and then was the song, it became a B-side on Black Waltz, the song, oh my God, what was it called? Dying to See You Dead. We had the riff for that, and I don't remember who said it, if John said it or I said it, but one of us said, you know, but it would be a shame if we didn't finish Dying to See You Dead. You know, that's a good riff. And that was like, I was thinking the same. And then we had a reunion party. So we were just out of the band for 15 minutes, alone in a bar. But that was like a big reset in the brain. Like, but okay, what if this is our last album? Think about it. If this is our last album, what are we gonna do? What would you do if you don't get to do this ever again? And that kind of made us really shape up and take it very seriously on getting it exactly the way we wanted it at the time. And that mindset helped the music a lot. Simple as that. And then we were always, you know, because we started so young together, but there was always wanting to do something special with how it looked and everything around it. Yes. But we hadn't really figured out exactly what. We had tried many things. And it was while trying this that we did a photo shoot where I was in a lake of fire. And the fire was done, the pyrotech was a freak show, sideshow guy, Bryce Graves of Hellsapop. And afterwards, we were friends, we have toured together and stuff. But he did that, he lit me on fire. And then he showed other things he could do. And it was just so cool. So John was like, we have to make a music video with that. How long will he stay in Sweden? Because he's American. And we heard and did it. And in that music video, I needed to look in a way that would fit the video. And we figured I could be a scary clown, you know? And so just doing that, but it felt like, oh, wow, this is what the music looks like. Because that was a hard question. That is a very strange question, but it's an important one for a band. What does our music look like? And Avatar, we're not circus metal, but I don't know what that is, but we are a metal circus. And we always were. And that fell into place. And from then we have also just kept going, kept being creative with that, as we found ourselves, you know.
Cool, man, cool. I love it. I love the aesthetic of the band, really.
Thank you.
Besides of the aesthetic, something that also I like about Avatar is that don't have limits when it comes to making music. I mean, we can find in this new album songs with influences from a lot of places, like the glam rock, obviously death metal, heavy metal, group metal. In my opinion, a little bit of R&B in the song Train, I think.
Yes.
How does Avatar make such versatile records? I mean, because each song has his own identity, you know?
Well, thank you for saying that. And it's a couple of things that goes into it. One thing is the mantra of saying we never want to write the same song twice. We just want to do, you know, want to try, at least try to make something different every time to serve that purpose. It's just, comes from, a lot of it comes from the passion we have for this music, is that because metal gave us everything that I didn't get from my mom and dad, I got from heavy metal in life. So we have heavy metal to thank for everything. And as such, we want to do the best with it that we can. And the best we think we can do is to add something to the conversation, not just copy something that was already said. So that's what we try to do. And then as music people, we are interested in a lot of different music things in metal and outside of metal, and we want to find ways to put a bunch of stuff that we like in there. It's just how we are, and also that we don't worry about the avatar sound. You know, there's certain things we have guitars in open, mostly in B standard tuning, sometimes drop A, sometimes open tunings and stuff, but you know, very low range guitar stuff, you know, from the death metal world, the kind of music we started to play when we learned to play, but still with a sound where you want some clarity, and it's kind of treating B-tuned guitar as E-tuned guitar, you know, that approach. We like when it's groovy, we like when you can move to it. So, but beyond that, what I learned from being a big Beatles fan and also a big Queen fan, and if you look at what they always did so many different things, but Beatles always sounded like the Beatles, because they are who they are, and you cannot run away from yourself. So we don't worry about it. Like, it's us. If we make a metal album and it's the five of us who came up with the songs and play the songs, we're not talented enough to sound like someone else. We are stuck with sounding like ourselves no matter what we do. So we just do whatever we want, and it will sound like Avatar. Just like, you know, with Queen, another one bites the dust, Bohemian Rhapsody, I Want to Break Free, Show Must Go On. Very different songs from very different years in their lives. Everything sounds like Queen because
Good.
they are who they are. So we apply that logic to ourselves.
Cool, cool. And for great lyrics or an album, how do you inspire yourself? Sometimes is it hard for you to get inspiration, or at this point is something easy for you to start a good lyric?
I mean, the short answer is I do not find it hard. Like, I get ideas, and because I'm addicted to ideas. My favorite part, one of my favorite parts of doing this is the very beginning, when it's just an idea, the magic, how that comes together, and you figure out what you want to do. Then, of course, it's also magic to make it happen and work together as a team to make the stage show, the clothes, the songs, the sound, the videos, everything. The journey is also, we love everything about it, but still, I get high on ideas. Ideas is my heroin. So I enjoy it so much that I chase that, and then you can have some down periods. And again, if we go back to when you're like 24 or whatever, in the past, I worried more about like, oh, I got nothing now, you know, but now I know it comes and goes, and it's fine. And where I get them from is like, for all these reasons, like depending what type of idea or time in life, I get ideas from anywhere and everywhere, you know.
Good. And for the videos released from this album, how were the videos for the songs Dance and The Dirt and Buried In made? The shooting was in Sweden?
Yeah, it was nice because this time, again, as I live in Finland and the other guys live in Sweden, it was a challenge during the pandemic to make videos that we could make, because I couldn't travel to them and stuff. Now we could come together again, and so Dance Devil Dance, you know, that was a big project, lots of other people involved, and studio space and building things, and you know, very an advanced video to make over many days and many late nights. And then The Dirt and Buried In, slightly simpler, slightly fewer locations, but hard, because that one we came up with the ideas in August. So it's summer in Sweden, it's nice and warm, and we talk, and then we're gonna be outdoors in the night a lot. We realize it's gonna be cool, beautiful driving scenes, and you know, out in the woods walking. Problem is that we filmed that at the end of October, which is cold in Sweden, and last year was very cold in Sweden. So no one slept because we were working so much, and we outdoors all the time, like, and action. Okay, pretend to not be cold for 30 seconds, and then you freeze your ass off again. But also a fun one, also involved a lot of people and things. And then very soon we're gonna put out the next video, for Chimp Mosh Pit, and that was just us in the band, just green screens, very like hard to make, but mostly in post-production. But filming was only fun and only easy and nice and warm, and we finished early. So it always differs a bit, but fundamentally, no matter what video we do, it's a very similar process. Usually it's me, John, and Johan Kalén, the director, photographer. We have meetings, coming up with ideas, bouncing ideas off each other, testing it, writing it down. And once we figure it out through three of us exactly what we want to do, then John kind of takes a role of the producer, organizing things, while you want to focus on directing and turning all our ideas into a structured script to shoot and all that. And we plan it out like that, and go film it, and whatever needs to be done gets done. And then Johan is in hell and works for 1 month straight on trying to finish the thing.
Good, man. Perfect. Now the question about Hellfest. How did you feel play on the main stage at Hellfest? Because there were a lot of people, really, man.
Well, very good. It's the second time we've been to Hellfest, and it's a special place, of course, and huge crowd. And France as a country has been very good to us for a long time now, so we always enjoy it.
Even the performance was streamed on YouTube, man.
Yeah. So people talk about like that one spread far as well, so that's cool. And we had the chance to do a couple of big ones like that at this point. And no, it's special. It's a special challenge also, because first in a band career, you need to learn to make a small show feel big. And that's a skill you grow over time. Then when you start to do bigger shows, comes a different kind of challenge, where you have to try to make a big show feel small. And the masters of that, I guess the masters would be Iron Maiden, for instance. Because when you go to an Iron Maiden show, everyone in the audience feels like someone in the band looked at them. Like Steve Harris saw me. Yeah. Everyone feels that. But how can everyone, if you are 50,000 people, how can everyone feel that? But we all do. And that is because they are so great at, taking you in somehow and connect and make something feel big and small at the same time. And you learn that better over time. And now we started to become, maybe, I feel more confident in that in the last few years. So, and Hellfest was special also for that. Then my favorite memory of the festival was actually after the show. Your dressing rooms are all lined up around each other, so all the bands are there, and it's fun. European festivals, if you compare to North American festivals, all the European bands, we all have different outfits, so it's a big masquerade, just walking around. And but oh shit, I don't remember what the band was called he was there with now, but this kind of death metal also, this was like with what's called Dave Vincent and from Morbid Angel, but also the drummer Flo Monnier, his main band is Cryptopsy.
Yes.
Yeah, and Cryptopsy, and especially the album None So Vile, is one of everyone in the band's all-time favorite album and band. Like, we love that. They are, to us, they are as big as Metallica. Yeah.
Yeah.
And usually I'm a bit shy about meeting people at festivals and stuff. I always feel like I'm bothering people, and I'm never bothered when someone meets me, so I don't know what the problem would be. But this time, like, Tim came walking, holy shit, Flo Monnier is standing over there. He is? Yeah. Okay, fuck it, we're going. And I grabbed Tim's hand like a child, like, now we're going. And behind me came everyone else in the band. I'm like, excuse me, you're Flo Monnier, right? Yeah. We fucking love you, la 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 la. And he was so cool and so nice. So we got to be fans and talk a bit, and then ask for the picture and do a meet and greet. And we don't always do that, because on festivals, you get to see, there are many times when you sit there and like, holy shit, it's him and whatever. But you almost never do something, say something. But this time we did, and that satisfied a little 15-year-old death metal fanatic in me, because Cryptopsy, actually, if we circle to Dance Devil Dance on that, I think it's one of the best death metal bands because they're super technical, but the technique never gets away of the emotion, and the way they play, because they're so good they don't have to fake it so much in the studio. It sounds very organic and wild and alive, their production. So, and you know, that's something we aim for also with Dance Devil Dance.
Good, man. Good, good. And I don't know if you heard about this, but at that festival, Ghost played, the band Ghost, and Tobias Forge, the leader of the band,
Yeah.
lost his voice just before playing the last song of the set. So they had no choice but to leave the stage. Fortunately, the people supported him and understood the situation. I'm not a musician, but I guess it's a situation that really sucks when you are on a stage. I want to know, how do you maintain your voice? Do you do any kind of warm up or exercise?
I practice. I warm up and all of that. But the rest of it, most of it is what you don't do. To scream and stuff on stage and to do music, loud, intense music, and do that with your body. It's hard, but it's hard work. So you do the right thing still. It's, you know, it's heavy lifting, but what you can't do, if you go into a bar and try to talk with someone and you're like this with your voice, you hear over the music and stuff, that can fuck you up. Cigarettes, if you smoke all the time and you sing, then your voice gets used to it. But I'm not a smoker, so if I have one cigarette, I'm fucked. So, but it's about, you know, so it's just basic things that are good for your body is good for your voice. So that means to hydrate and not just drink all the water on stage, because that's not so good either. We kind of have to drink a lot of water because we move a lot and sweat a lot. But the less I can drink while I sing, because I drink so much before, for instance, and sleep. Sleep is necessary, just not strain the voice with other things. I think it's a big secret. And then if you sing a lot, it's like if you run a lot, you get good cardio. If you sing a lot, your voice gets good cardio. So it's all about seeing the big picture, you know. Push-ups is also good for the voice. Fitness is good for the voice. Moving, it's all connected.
Yeah, it's like a muscle, you know.
Exactly. And then if you get sick, you get sick. And so far we haven't had to cancel because of me for those reasons, but it's been scary sometimes. And then, you know, because I've been performing while being sick, but then it's just those days you just lay still in bed and rest, and then you give everything for 2 hours, and then you go and rest again. And you know, and that's hard and that's no fun. But again, there are also people who have to work in coal mines, or people who work real jobs. There are ambulance drivers, you know, there are teachers. So I try to not complain too much for those reasons, but you do what you can to make it work.
And speaking about that, I have a question related to that. How did you learn to make gutturals? I mean, to me, you are one of the best and most complete voices I have ever heard.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I can imagine that in 2001, there were no YouTube video tutorials or things like that.
No, absolutely. And I in the very early days when I was like 16, I quit the band once because I fucked it up. But what I also did, I played piano and trombone, had music teachers and stuff, and I also got singing lessons. And everything that is important for more normal singing is also true for extreme metal vocals. It's all connected. Like most of what you do with your body is the same. If it's jazz, opera, or metal, it's still how you breathe, how you push, how you support, and how you just, you know, in control of how much air you want to use and how much air you don't want to use while singing. It's all connected. So singing lessons, choirs, all kinds of other music things I did growing up, I learned bits and pieces that then I was able to apply to death metal music.
I need to ask you, do you have in mind doing a Latin American tour, man?
Yes, 100% yes. So the thing is, it's always the hardest to come and play somewhere for the first time. And as far as Latin America goes, right before the pandemic, we finally were able to make our first Mexican festival.
Yes.
And that opens a lot of, then pandemic meant it stopped right away, you know. But now last year we were able again to make our first this Mexican metal festival again, you know.
Good.
So that's a good starting point, you know. So we travel slowly down north, all the way from Sweden. We came to Canada, United States, and we worked down to Mexico now. So that's good. That combined with that we now last year went to Brazil for the first time to open for Iron Maiden.
Yes.
That means like, so you're in Argentina, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so we are attacking you from two fronts right now, trying to expand to get to do, because we just need to come once that first time, and that can be very hard, you know, to just, so, and then people say, holy shit, and the promoters say, oh wait, we can sell tickets with these guys, and then you can work on coming back. And we are working very, very hard with this album to, you know, to solidify what we started. So that's Mexico and Brazil.
Yes.
And then the thing is that Brazil and Mexico is very far from where we come, and they are very far from each other as well. So let's maybe focus on Brazil for this example.
Yeah.
But if you fly all the way to Brazil, then we say, hey, Mr. Booking Agent, now that we're here, it's shorter to fly to Argentina than to fly back home. Can we please, you know? So we are working on things like that. So I cannot say, oh, we are coming, blah, blah, and blah, blah, but we are really working on it, because I see in social media and stuff that people, there's an interest. And by the way, congratulations on the World Cup.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Do me a favor when you come to Argentina, and do me a favor. Please play Paint Me Red, man. I love that song.
It's very likely, it's quite likely we will. I'll try to remember you said that.
Okay.
So yeah, I must say, it was nice to talk to you, and because questions were a bit different, so that made me wake up a bit. So good job. But I do have to run to the next one now. But hope to see you in Argentina.
Hope to see you, man. I wish a lot of success.
Thank you so much. See ya.
Bye.